listening to the Deep Purple Podcast, a fan podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Your hosts, Nate and John, cover their shared history with the band, discover new music together, and cover the farthest reaches of the Deep Purple family tree and beyond. Here's Nate and John now.
Welcome to the Deep Purple Podcast, the first podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Today's episode is episode number 300. I don't know, the 300 Club? And coming to you from the suburbs of Chicago, where I am knee-deep in Christmas candy, I'm your host, Nathan Beaudry.
And coming to you from the suburbs of Providence, I'm your co-host, John Pete Weber Matola.
Pete Weber. Oh, yes, the bowler. I got that one.
And do we know why that's significant?
Well, because he's a good bowler. Well, he must have bowled a 300 game at some point, right?
85 sanctioned 300 games.
85?
Well, throughout his career.
But still.
more than I ever will.
When I was bowling like regularly at my peak, when I was in a league, I was still looking for my 200 game. I think I got like 198 or 190. I came close, but I don't think I ever cracked 200.
Well, yeah, that's the I thought that that would be well, I mean, I haven't bowled in forever, so I probably bowled like nothing, a zero, I don't know.
I think you'd probably do a little better than that.
A 100 game. But yeah,
100, 120.
My nickname being the 300, having to do with 300 for a 300th episode. Also, I didn't realize that one of our favorite podcasts, Pod of Thunder, uses a clip of Pete Weber yelling at the end of a game.
Yes. You didn't realize that was Pete Weber?
No, yeah. I thought it was I thought the whole clip was like before I knew what it was. I thought it was like from because they had the da 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 da, so I thought it was a baseball from a baseball game or something. Oh, he's like an announcer or something.
He's a character. Me and my roommate used to watch him like whenever it would be like a Saturday afternoon and they'd have PBA on. Because he was just so, it was kind of like Happy Gilmore for golf, but it was just watching this guy just absolutely lose his shit during a professional bowling thing. It's like, hey, you think you are? I am. Get it right. And he's like screaming at the other bowler. I mean, the other bowlers must have just hated this guy.
Yeah.
He was larger than life. But yeah, look up some highlights from him on YouTube. It is, you won't be disappointed. I wouldn't want to bowl against him for multiple reasons. I don't think he'd be that excited about beating me, though. I think he'd probably just be like, yeah, I figured.
Yeah, we'd get our asses kicked. So, yeah.
So yeah, 300. Wasn't that a movie? 300. Wasn't that the Sparta movie where he kicks the guy in the hole?
Yeah,
I never saw it.
Me neither. I just
this is Sparta, something like that. He's all greased up and oiled up, and
it never looked good because I just see like the movie poster and it was this generic Spartan guy like, and then 300.
Very like, I think that's the style they were going for, but it looked very almost like comic booky, like it didn't look very realistic, but I think that's what they were going for.
I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, it could be good, but it was just never piqued my interest. So,
and that's John and Nate's Movie Corner, which a new segment will be bringing in the new year. But it's kind of our 300th episode kind of coincides with kind of getting into the new year, and we reached out to some patrons and kind of talked about like what basically we don't have any agenda. We don't want to do like this big song and dance like look at us, we're so awesome, 300 episodes, but we didn't want to not acknowledge it either. So got a little bit of a mixture of things that we could kind of talk about and discuss Deep Purple related as we go into our 300th episode, and as we go into a new era for the show. We just finished up the last studio album that we hadn't reviewed, so it's a new era for the show, and we would like to just kind of take it there and in
Usher
Deep
it
Purple
in.
podcast style. A little bit of a slight format change as to when things are kind of dropping around here. But one of the things that we are not going to change is that the Deep Purple podcast is still 100% listener supported and ad free. We promise not to do any accidental ads like we did a few episodes ago.
Well, no.
Yeah,
and for this episode,
dude wipes or whatever the.
Let's not go back there.
No, we don't want to go back there. But
no, for this episode only, we are 300% listener support.
Oh, that's right. We're 300%. Yes.
Everything's going to have a 300 theme, Nate.
Yep. Okay. I'll try to keep that in mind, but you're going to have to probably watch me and kick me back in line when I step out of line. But you can support our show a number of ways. One is by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can buy some merch at our Etsy store, including this handsome Deep Purple beanie. There's also a purple one that's just out of my reach. So you can support us that way. You can become a patron on Patreon or PayPal for as little as $1 an episode. You get access to our rating spreadsheet. You get access to our live stream to lurk while we record and while we do our live stream episodes. You get our patrons only Discord. And there's something else, right? I should probably write it down instead of trying to riff on it every week.
The worst thing is that I forgot too. So now we both look like dummies.
Yeah, so you get the Discord. You get access to our live streams. You get
the spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet. And a secret thing that you probably know because we say every
secret to only us.
Yeah, exactly. Even
apparently
people feel like shit. I don't even donate, and I know what the fourth thing is.
So I have a question though before you continue. So it's been so cold lately. It's been so cold here that I accidentally keyed somebody's car with my nipples the other day. Have we seen any movement on the beanies?
Yeah. Actually, sold about 3 of them in the last couple weeks.
Hey-o.
Yeah. I don't know if it's related to the cold, but yeah. One of them went to Florida, so I don't think it's that cold down there.
All right. Well, hey, a sale's a sale, good.
Yeah, exactly.
Get our thing out there. Cool.
Yeah, so thank you for those, but in Florida, it could turn to like 58 degrees and people put put beanies on because they're cold. You never know.
That's freezing for them.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. For sure. But yeah, it's been really cold here. It was, it hasn't been above the 20s really. And it's been like single-digit lows for a bit. So it's been pretty chilly. And of course, this is the time my car decided that the automatic starter wasn't going to work anymore. So I gotta go get that checked out because I've grown very dependent on that, especially in those early mornings.
Well, if I haven't talked about it, I recently gotten a new car within the past few months and has auto start, hands down best investment I made. Just walking over to this window behind me, at 5 a.m. when it's 13 degrees out and going beep, and then just going out there and it not being freezing.
I have it right beside my bed on my bedside table. I just wake up, I reach over, I go beep, and I just let it warm up for about 10 minutes. It's just great getting in a nice warm car.
Beautiful.
What kind of car is it?
Well, I will not. I won't reveal where it's garage, just in case my
don't give me the VIN number or your license plate. I just want the model and make will be sufficient.
No, I got
I've stunned him already. Let's get a Kahoot going. See if I can jump on.
No, I got a Honda Civic EXL.
Oh, okay, nice, very nice.
Yeah, so bigger than my last car, which was about a third of the size of that car.
The size of a large roller skate.
Yeah, but this is this definitely. I mean, my old car was like a 2012, so this one is clearly features like that. Heated seats, moonroof, all the sensors, when you're gonna
to crash into something,
change lanes or crash into something, and it beeps at you. It's just it's all brand new to me. So I'm I'm loving it.
Our minivan has that. I get so annoyed when it beeps when I'm like, yeah, I know I'm just going in a straight line, but then when it beeps and I actually need it, I'm like, okay, it's fine. all is forgiven.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't realize what a crooked driver I was because it's always just like that lane assist, it's just like leaving your lane, and I'm like, I fucking no, stop it, and I
They have
jerk the wheel back.
I got a loaner car when I had my work done on my car recently, and it would, oh no, I'm sorry, it was the minivan. We had a loaner minivan when the minivan was getting done, and if you started to veer out of the lane, it would actually shake the steering wheel.
Yes, that's what mine has that.
Yeah, it's actually really cool because at first I thought like it felt like almost like the wheels were out of alignment, but I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of handy because it's not an annoying beep, but it just lets you know like, hey, you might be veering off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean these are standard for most people, but from coming from somebody that's driven the same car for over 10 years and no upgrades, like this is all just gravy for me. Loving it.
Yep. Yeah, that's great. So hey, so some patron news.
Oh, we have patron news, huh?
Yeah, we do have some patron news, and the first thing, give me the news. Give me the straight poop. The newest one is that we have a patron upgrade. That's right, Purple Swede upgrading to the $5 money lender tier. Swede. Thank you so much.
Purple Swede.
We do have another patron upgrade. Patron upgrade. This one is none other than a fan favorite,
Blackmore Tights.
He's upgrading to the £2.93 tier. And this is actually a very touching story. He says, hi, Nate. I've upgraded my Patreon to £2.93 as I would like my own tier if possible. It's in honor of my late dog, Pudge, who sadly passed away last week. It was on one of his many walks a few years ago that I was thinking to myself, hey, I wonder if there's a Deep Purple podcast. Turns out there was. I then spent most of his walks for the next year listening to you guys. Finally become a Patreon when I listened to all the available episodes, about 130 or so at the time. Anyway, the Pudge walks have now stopped, but if you could create a 293 pence tier for Pudge, that would be brilliant. P.S. The 293 is the number of episodes we spent walking together. Have a great Xmas and a happy new year.
I like that.
Very nice. Nice note from Blackmore Tights. So yeah, in the 293 pence tier, which I think I penciled in somewhere.
You call it the Pudge tier.
Exactly. But it's the Pudge tier. And what Pudge was the nickname of Tommy Bolin's little brother too, I think it was his little brother. So interesting. Okay, and then I did get a Christmas gift in the mail from a patron. This is a pretty fun gift. This comes from Percival Frequency, and it is, let me show you.
Whoa.
It's a bass.
Wow.
It might be hard to tell on the, if you were in person, you'd be able to tell, but it's like a mini bass. It's like a 2/3 scale.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, so it's really little. So it's like,
now I can tell.
You look at my my span on my fingers, I can easily go from about 7 frets with no problem.
Leave that at your hands, huge. So what kind of bass is this?
This is a Glary bass. It's got like an unfinished wood kind of tone to it. It's really nice. It's very fun to play because it's little. So it's like, let's see if I can, if this is, can you hear that?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's very out of tune though. I was playing with it too much. But yeah, it's really cool. I'll have to put it off of record and tune it up. You probably can't hear it now, but yeah. So thank you for bringing that, sending that over, Mr. Frequency. That was very much appreciated. Then in patron news, we also have, where is it here? New patron. That's right. We have a new patron joining us at the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier, Mr. Adam Cork. So thank you, Adam. Really appreciate it. Wrote to him for like a welcome notice. Didn't hear anything back yet. But then again, we have another new patron, Tim Wood, joining us at the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier as well. As I tune this bass while I'm talking about it.
Going into 2025 strong.
Very strong, yeah. So it's pretty
getting gifts, new patrons, sold 3 beanies. Jeez.
I know, it's like unbelievable. We're just about ready to quit our jobs.
Just about.
A few more beanies maybe, but
there's just one problem is I need another source of income before I do that.
Yeah. It's got a pretty good tone for it. I'm digging it.
Sounds bassy.
Sounds bassy. The bass is coming through. Do I have anything on it? Yeah, there we go. Kind of. I don't know how much it comes. I don't know how much it comes across on the recording, but
play that part on from Pictures of Home.
Oh yeah, what is that? Like it's like there you go.
Not bad. I knew that you were trying.
I was trying, and you also knew that I've never played it before. I hope.
Well, you got the melody down a little bit. It's just you got to figure out the correct notes. That's about it.
I find that helps. Finding out those correct notes. But thank you to all of our great patrons. And then before we get into things, of course, thank our executive level patrons coming in at the In Memoriam tier, the wonderful late Gerald, Jerry, Kelly, and family. At the $25 Uncommon Man tier, we have Ovis Nakfi. At the 15 Squid tier, we have Alan. At the 10-pound Good Doctor tier, we have Dr. Mike Catan. At the Turn It Up to $11 tier, we have Clay Wambacher, Frank Thielgard Mortensen, Mikkel Steen, Will Porter, PhDPP, and Michael, don't call him Bradford Bagford. And at the $10 Someone Came tier, Ryan M., Jeff Bryce, Victor Campos, Better Call Saul Evans. Itchy trigger finger on that one.
Yeah, jump the gun a little bit.
Yeah, I'm out of practice. Peter from Illinois. And then at the Hughes-Ween by 2033 tier, Fielding Fowler. Blue. Thank you so much to all of you for your support of the Deep Purple Podcast. Episode 300. In a couple episodes, at least, we have to come up with a new name for the Fielding Fowler tier. And then we've got our last call for our Fireball rankings episode. This is it. We will be, as of the release of this, we'll be recording this in a couple days on or around January 15th. So if you want to get your rankings in, if you're new to the show or an old patron, get your rankings in for Fireball. The link to the rankings is on Patreon for patrons only, and it's also in the Discord channel. And if you don't have it for some reason, shoot me an email. Okay, so we were left with, like, what are we going to do for this episode, right? Rather than just kind of, we don't want to do a retrospective.
No, we did a couple of those,
300 best highlights of the Deep Purple podcast.
Oh, Jesus, we'd be here all day. We have to break it up into 20 episodes.
Even if they were short highlights.
Hey, do we have any postcards from the Edge?
I do, but you know what? I moved it towards the end of the episode.
Oh, okay. Then I'll just keep these items right here. I'll just wait a little bit.
I moved some stuff around episode 300. We'll see if it works.
Okay. And of course, see, folks, I have no idea what's going on. So let's
join the club.
The 300 Club.
Exactly. Ow. If that's really quiet, it's going to be really, really lame. I might have to boost that in post.
All right, so what are we doing here? Come on.
So we got a few things. So stat that I like to drop all the time: 80% of podcasts don't make it to episode number 10. But I did some research.
Really?
Yeah. About how many podcasts make it to episode 300. It said it's about 3% of all podcasts make it to episode 300.
Padcasts?
Podcasts. Hey.
The New England just came out there, Nate.
In Boston, only 3% of podcasts.
No, is that like really? We're serious?
And there's about somewhere between 3.5 and 4 million podcasts.
Wow, suddenly I feel very accomplished.
That means there's about 3.5 million white men in America. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so some of the things that we were suggested that we could cover is non-album track roundup, which I thought we could do after the next patron break, and just talk about some of those non-album tracks, listen to some of the non-album tracks of the Steve Morse years, because I think we've covered most of the other ones. Then think about this. It's 2025. We're basically at the 50-year mark from everything that happened in 1975, meaning we're going to be crossing the 50-year mark of a lot of landmarks. Richie leaving the band, his last concert with the band before joining. Tommy Bolin joining, Come Taste the Band being released. Last concert in Japan, all this sort of stuff. So a lot of stuff for us to kind of talk about, and maybe we could even do that throughout the year, is on the anniversaries of some of these dates. Listen to Richie's last concert in the non made in Europe context. Patrons suggested we fumble through the spreadsheets and look at some of the highlights, some of our highest ranked songs. Then you, of course, brought up the 300 Club.
You're waiting. I'm like, I got nothing. What?
Even on the video, the camera's not going to move to you and you make a hand gesture only.
Look, yeah, that's I mean, that's really just the name of the show. So
so we're gonna call this episode the 300 Club.
Why not?
Which I mistook for the 700 Club when we were texting.
Pat Robertson. Well,
I mean, a theme song or something. It was basically I'd see that guy's face and I'd know it was time to change the channel.
I forget, what was my idea about the 300 Club?
I don't remember.
Oh, I think it was having on like our most famous guests, but
but that was too complicated to arrange.
Yeah, we couldn't have Don Airy back on, so
yeah.
No, I asked him. I said, I asked you. I said, when you met Husey, did he give you his number? I said, see if he'll pop in.
Yeah, I'll just call. I could call Nick Simper at home, and of course, it's like 2 a.m. there now. Hey, Nick.
Who's this?
It's our 300th episode. You want to talk?
But yeah, I think that fumbling through the spreadsheet, maybe looking at our past year in retrospect would be.
Oh yeah, you want to just
kind of fun.
Look at the albums we reviewed last year, or just in total,
or just the I mean, if it doesn't take too long. I mean, I would like to, because a lot of it is like, if you sit here on even it's like you get a little retrospective, right? Not like, or introspective or whatever, on a 300th episode. And one of the things is like, I was thinking about is we could be like, oh, so what are some of your favorite moments? I don't even remember the episode we recorded last month, like never mind like the past 300, so it's like I can't even remember some of my favorites. Like I rediscover them, you know what I mean? It's like if I listen to something out of context, or if one of our friends texts us and like, oh, that thing you guys said was hilarious when we listened to last week's, or I listened back to the Christmas episode from 3 years ago or something like that. Like, I mean, I'm sure that they were great, but it's just like I don't remember all of them, because it's literally, this is just us having a conversation like I would anywhere else, and then you forget about it because you can't remember every conversation you have, so
it's
maybe a little,
obviously, and
a little help, a little help by fumbling through the spreadsheet might jog my memory.
Even when like Pete or Mark or whoever will text us about something we said in the last episode, even when we had just recorded it a week ago, I have no idea what they're talking about. And then never mind if we're like a month ahead. I just have no memory at all. So,
yes.
I think my phone is interacting with the pickups on this bass.
Yeah, I heard that kind of like, I heard the little buzz. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of that old school, like before your phone would ring, the computer speakers would kind of do that. And you're like, oh, I'm going to get a call. And then you did.
All right, I moved them apart. If that doesn't work, I'll put on one of those big like lead bibs like they give you at the dentist. I love those things.
Really? Why?
Yeah, it just feels like comfortable. You just have this nice like soft weight on you from the lead. I want a lead blanket. I have one of those weighted blankets. It's great.
Yeah, I heard that they're really something.
Yeah, it stresses Jen out. She hates them, but I love it.
I give one.
We could do a number of things. We could go like what our our top Deep Purple albums were, or the total rankings from top to bottom of just Deep Purple. We could talk about overall albums. We could go songs. We could talk about our top songs. What would be the best thing to sort of by to start?
How about we look at the albums?
All right.
You can go like album, song.
All albums?
That's a I don't know. Do you think it would be too all-encompassing? Maybe we should just look at all Deep Purple.
Yeah, let's look at
albums because I mean everybody knows what the top albums are. I don't feel like hearing it from anybody. Okay,
we don't want to get in trouble, and if anyone's new to the show, we want to keep them.
But actually, we haven't done that before because of our overall rankings. We're just like, okay, this is on the top, and then the proper Deep Purple albums are in there. But I don't think we've ever looked at just where they rank on their own.
Well, we do have in the works, probably after they release their next album, or maybe when we know that they're not releasing any more albums, like when they're officially done, we'll do a top albums rankings, but that's not going to be for a while. Like we'll do a kind of like what we do with the album rankings where we rank the songs on the albums. We could do our album rankings of probably like a 2 or 3 part episode, get rankings from the patrons and find out what the rankings. It's going to be really hard to do, but I do have it here on the spreadsheet sorted from highest to lowest. Do you have the spreadsheet open?
No.
You don't have to if you don't want to. But should we start at the bottom?
Yeah, Let me fumble with the spreadsheet here. Okay, there we go. Wow, that's a lot of albums.
Yeah.
All right, so
So in last place, and this is just based on our ranking of the songs individually. So I think when I rank the overall albums, I don't think it'll be wildly different from this, but I think it will be different from this for me, because it's a little different ranking an album, how you feel about an album overall versus the sum total of how you feel about all the songs. So in last place, we have Shades of Deep Purple.
I can see it.
Which got a combined ranking of 5.38 from us. So no real shock there. We'd just do the studio albums, I guess. Concerto for Group and Orchestra's in there, but the second one is the Book of Taliesin.
Yeah.
At 6 even as a score. And then the third from the bottom, The Battle Rages On.
Yeah, I mean, I still agree. I still agree with these. There is that after we heard The Battle Rages On like live versions, I actually gained a more of a appreciation for that song, and I actually listened to it a couple of times.
I love the song.
Yeah, but I mean,
not crazy about the album.
I never was.
All right, and then we have Slaves and Masters.
Yeah.
Coming in at a 6.67.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. Couple of good tracks on there, but
kind of surprising Whoosh right after that one. I'm sorry, Infinite right after that one.
Right.
Which we
I mean, we're hot off of that one. I know that my sentiment is that it was just the songs were like fine, but there wasn't anything that really stood out about them.
One song in particular dragging down the whole album too. It might have gone up a few slots if not for that.
Yeah.
Whoosh after that one.
I'd have to give that one a listen.
That one needs a re-listen for sure.
Yeah, just yeah, I mean, I think that I'm so into Equals One now that I don't even think of, you know what I mean? I think of I overlook Whoosh when it was really the new album at the time that we started the podcast, and it's kind of like I haven't revisited it all. So it's like, I don't know, maybe I go back and I'd like it better, but I think it deserves another chance, probably.
I think so too. After that, Bananas coming in at an even 7 points. But with one of the bigger variances between you and my score, about 50.58 difference between you and me. And then right after Bananas, Deep Purple, the self-titled album.
Yep, now we're getting up there a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I always like that album.
Yeah, and I really like that album, and I think it's hard comparing albums across 50 plus years for what they were for the time versus what they are now, how well they held up.
Sure.
After self-titled, we have Abandon, which is and I should say Bananas and Deep Purple actually were tied at even 7 points.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of a tie. Then Abandon is 7.04, so just barely ahead of the self-titled album. Then we have Turning to Crime. I'm kind of surprised by that. And that's a tough one to judge.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think we're grading that album based on what it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also like, I don't know. I kind of think of that album as the pandemic album.
Well, yeah, for good reason.
But I mean, it being associated with that, I'm just kind of like, anything from that period, I just kind of, I think like a lot of people, I just kind of put it in the rear view, because at the time, it was like exciting because at least people were doing something. It's like, oh, all these guys in different studios like played tracks together and they put it together and they didn't even have to be in the same room and live streaming concerts and stuff. And now it's like nobody wants to hear about that shit. So it's like, well, I mean, really, because nobody wants to think about that time in our lives. So it's right, like, exactly. And it was a cover album, and they've released another original album since then. So it's like, I don't know if it's really worth revisiting just because, cover albums.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm surprised that it was that high, honestly.
Yeah, me too. Then House of Blue Light. Right after that one at 7.35.
Yeah, and decent effort. Yeah.
Surprising Fireball, 7.36, 1/100th of a point higher than House of Blue Light, which is interesting because I feel like Fireball's a much better album.
Yeah.
Fireball down, well, it's not, I wouldn't say low, it's almost in the middle, but it's kind of surprising. Next up, is Rapture of the Deep at 7.5. Then Who Do We Think We Are, which is our biggest variance.
Yeah, that one definitely deserves a maybe another look someday. See if I'll ever change my mind. Right now. I won't.
So we got 7.71 on that one, and the 0.71 is the variance between our two scores. You ranked it at 3.5. I rank it a 4.21. It's one of my top 3 or 4 albums, maybe, on this list. Then after Who Do We Think We Are? Equals One, a strong showing from the 56-year later album from the band.
Yeah, I mean, considering where we have ranked it on the spreadsheet here, Very impressive.
And some albums are growers, right? Like you need to listen to it a few times, but that one definitely seems like it's not just us, but a lot of fans really just connected with that album right away.
Mm-hmm.
Then Now What, coming in just barely ahead of that one at 7.95. And then In Rock, which some people might think is sacrilege. I mean, it gets an 8, which is a super high score. The scores start getting really tight between here and the top, but the Deep Purple In Rock to come in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th place, basically.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that, but maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, I love the album. It was one of the first albums by them I've ever heard. And I love it, but I think it's dated a little bit more in a way that some of the albums are a little more timeless.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Next up, Perpendicular. 0.08 of a point higher than Deep Purple In Rock at 8.08.
Yeah, I would say for two albums which are kind of a rebirth in a way of the band, right? First one with Gillan and Glover, not counting Concerto, and then Perpendicular, the first one with Morris. It was almost like both of those were reinvigorations of the band. I'm not surprised that they're both kind of next to each other.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And then we have Made in Japan from like the very early episodes where we were ranking live albums, which you don't really do anymore. And then Machine Head, 8.21.
I mean, it is a good album.
Great album. Again, probably sacrilege to not have that in the top spot, which most people would put it in.
Well, these next ones I'm not too surprised by.
No, and I don't have any. There's one in the next few that does surprise me a little bit.
Yeah,
probably surprises you a little bit too, but it's justified. So the next one up is Burn at 8.31.
One of my favorites.
Then we have another two-way tie for second and third place with Come Taste the Band and Stormbringer both getting 8.33.
I guess I'm like, maybe I'm a little curious as to like what, because see, I ranked out of those albums, I ranked Burn the highest. Or I had the highest ranking for Burn out of all those. So I mean, it's so it's your fault. But yeah, no, if you're looking at it though, as like the top, like the top 5 though, it's just like, I mean, those are, I mean, whatever order they're in, you know what I mean? It's just like, these are pretty much, I agree, our favorite albums.
Yep. Then the number 1 album, according to us, was according to our rankings, is Perfect Strangers.
Now, I will admit that one is pretty shocking to me, just to think about, like, where my head was at, or where our heads were at, because we both rated it exactly the same.
Yep, it's a perfectly even ranking.
Yeah,
that one, and I mean, Perpendicular and Slaves and Masters are we were 100% in line. Maybe not song by song, but for the total album.
And I mean, if I look at my own ratings for it, wasn't that far off from Burn, but it's like, I guess just thinking back in my history of it, it's like I was always like, Perfect Strangers, like, good album, but I mean, I never felt about it inside the way that I felt about Burn, Stormbringer, Come Taste the Band, like, those, all the classic Mark II albums from the 70s. So I'm just like, there must have been something going on there when we were sitting down and listening to it that, just really, really wowed us at the time. And, I mean, I would say, like,
on it's just so strong,
I mean, there's some great stuff on there, but I would have thought that maybe Perfect Strangers would have been like, I don't know, 5 or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to disagree with any of that. I think that if you look at, say, like, even like the top 10, I would still agree with that. Historically, have been like my favorite albums.
Yeah, looking at my top 10 here, I I don't have a lot of arguments.
Oh, actually, yeah. So we have like our top 10. What would be like mine and then yours?
All right. So John's.
Yeah. So what's my favorites?
So where's 10? One. I think this is 10 for you.
Yep.
So your 10th is what? Equals 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now what?
Mm-hmm.
Stormbringer. Perpendicular. Come Taste the Band. In Rock, Machine Head, Burn, and Perfect Strangers.
So yeah, even my rankings like individually on the albums, like, but In Rock was a lot higher than our combined ratings. So for me.
Oh, sorry, that was only 9. Rapture of the Deep was number 10. Just had to count them again.
All right, now what about you?
For me, let me just make sure I get them right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep Purple in Rock is number 10. Perpendicular. Now What? Equals 1. Burn. Machine Head. Who Do We Think We Are? Perfect Strangers. Come Taste the Band, and then Stormbringer.
Wow, that's interesting. So for me, I still most highly ranked Perfect Strangers.
And Equals 1 easily getting into both of our top 10.
I mean, I feel like all of these at some point, and we've talked about it together, we've talked about it with our friends, would deserve like some kind of redo in some way. I'm not saying that Equals 1 doesn't deserve to be up there, but I mean, let's face it, like we were on the high of the album coming out, reviewing it, going to the shows, just having a grand old time with it. So I mean, of course it was going to be in there because we're like so into the songs, but now I don't think that takes away from it, but I wonder if the passage of time will change that. Just like would it change any of these other ratings, like even like a little bit, because that it's all subjective. On one day, Stormbringer could be my favorite. On another day, it could be, Machine Head.
Well, like we talked about with Whoosh, like Equals 1 benefited from that, and Whoosh didn't like immediately grab us, but upon repeated listenings, I definitely warmed up to it and liked it and put it on quite a bit.
What, Whoosh?
Whoosh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to give that one another chance.
You bring up a good point in that, much like Turning to Crime, although it's a covers album, Whoosh came out smack dab at the beginning of the pandemic. It was delayed because of the pandemic, and it was hard to get excited about anything during that time. Just like, oh yay.
Yeah. Oh boy, we may never do anything ever again.
Is everything of the world gonna just crumble apart? Yeah.
But I mean, again, that's rear view.
Yep.
So
an interesting exercise. But now I don't know. Do you think we should thank the next level of patrons?
Yeah, sure. Play us in, Nate.
It's so quiet in my headphones. It sounds so underwhelming. Does that sound like something? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
I hear you.
I gotta boost the volume. It sounds so weak. It's gonna be blowing off everyone's eardrums, probably. Okay. So super fun to play. I highly recommend getting yourselves one of these mini basses. All right, so I have to do some of this on the fly because I don't know if I changed around the positioning of these jingles, but next up is our core level patrons. Coming in at the $6.99 new nice price tier, we have Spike the Rock Cat and Sugar Tea. At the episode $6.66 tier, we have Steve Coldwell, Arthur Smith,
getting support from the patron Arthur Smith,
Anton Glaving,
pain in the glaving,
and Charles Meadows. At the $6.65 almost evil tier, we have Kenny Wymore and Richie Sucksmith. At the $5.99 the nice price tier, Robert Smith and Carl Hellberg. At the 60 kroner Scandinavian Nights tier, we have DJ Newt Morton Johansson. Oh, getting a little rusty on the turntables there. At the $5 moneylender tier, John Convery, German Heindel, Adrian Hernandez, Jesper Elman, Oleksiy the Perfect Stranger Slepikov, Kev Roberts, Percival Frequency, Scott Zerns, Cynthia Doobie, Raf Kaff.
My Czechoslovakian is not so good.
Coyote Bongwater. John Maselli.
Looking for something?
Yeah, a man.
Okay.
Sarah Sanders.
No! Kelly Clarkson!
Jellybean, Evan Robinson, Richard Fusey, and newly in the tier, Purple Swede.
Swede?
Thank you so much to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. All right. So we have up now covering some of the stuff that we may have overlooked or simply just not quite gotten to when we were covering the albums. So the first thing in chronological order, starting here, a bonus track from the album Perpendicular. And this one is called Don't Hold Your Breath. Oh, I got to open it with the right software here.
I shouldn't be holding my breath.
Don't. Please don't. Left on the cutting room floor from the... Oops. Definitely got that perpendicular guitar tone going on.
Good stuff.
Can you believe we covered this album like 2 years ago?
Really?
It's crazy.
That long ago, huh? Shit.
Yeah. I can hear this one working on the old Perpendicular album. I don't know if he's doing like, he's like strumming chords and then like doing like the bypass switch on his guitar. Because it's like coming in like...
That's either that or, I mean, he could be like, he could be finger picking it.
Yeah, it could be, because that's brutal on the old Switch if you're just constantly flicking it like that.
No, I think he's got to be like kind of picking it out, kind of like Eddie Van Halen does in Hot for Teacher.
Yeah.
That technique. But that's what it sounds like anyway.
Throwing in the lazy and living wreck references.
Very self-referential.
Didn't we talk about that Megadeth song where they do that?
Yeah, but that was dumb. Like the whole song was that.
Yeah, it never stopped. Yeah, Pete sells, but who's buying?
I don't know. I just
cameo for my legendary Dave Mustaine impression.
Oh, yeah. This is pretty good. But I can see why, if they were gonna choose between other songs, they would have maybe chose something other than this.
Right. Like if you had to leave a song off of that album.
Yeah, this would be the one.
But it's solid.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
The Stallion from those sessions, but nobody, except maybe Rich, has heard that. Yeah, pretty solid track. A little "Don't Hold Your Breath." The next track up is this one's a little longer. This one you got a little preview of. So, and there's lots to go over with this one, but it's so long we could probably do it during the song. This one is not by Deep Purple. It's by a band called Dick Pimple, and it's called The Turtle Island Shuffle. So we can get a little bit more into the history of this one and what it's all about as it plays. But let me just see if I can cue it up here. Where the hell is it? All right, Dick Pimple. This is the one I was playing during warm up, and you were like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, and again, I ask, what the hell is this?
You can hear them all laughing.
Let me just introduce. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
This is us being silly in Orlando, and thank you very much for all arriving in Sheffield. All 8 of you. Ian Gill and Rich, you're all holding it in a phone box at the end of Hallam Street. Hallam Street, Hallam Road.
Hallam Road.
Anyway, just keyboard player here.
Hello.
We're all going to be introduced anagrammatically. I'm, as you know, Udo Glassnoodle Jr. Our wonderful new guitar player is Mo Saint-Sever.
Or Tom Reeves.
Or Tom Reeves, as he's like.
No, Reeves.
Reeves.
2 S's on the end.
And on Fundament, we have the Reverend Reg Gould. Say hello, Reg.
This sounds like early Beatles
and on drums,
messing
of course,
around.
Diana Spencer. Oh, aye. And Nigel Nail on vocals.
Nigel Nail. So those are mostly anagrams of their names.
Anyway, we're all pissed here, so have a wonderful time there, and we'll see.
Have a good time, guys. Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
And have one for me.
So they're all loaded in the studio, and they make this recording.
Oh, Nigel Nail on carpentry. Don't you remember that check from Sheffield?
So they make this recording and they send it out, or I think you could mail order it for $10 or something from the Deep Purple Appreciation Society.
Was it Jenkins Minor, Get Off the Reverend's Lap? There's a good boy.
So what era is this from?
This is around Perpendicular time.
Hmm.
A proper blues? Oh no, I don't know any of that.
So there's like a 50s style looking cartoon on where they're kind of describing this thing that gets rid of your dick pimples. Well, I guess just pimples in general. I don't know where they're getting those bubbling sound effects from. So they send this out just as fun. And they also kind of put this recording on the Who Cares recording that Gillan did with Tony Iommi. So these two housewives talking in the cartoon and said, "I'd marry Ian if it wasn't for those filthy blackheads of his." And the other woman says, I'll ask John to talk to him right away. Then there's two guys talking and says, why don't you try Vacutex for those blackheads, Ian? It certainly helped me. Thanks, John. It sounds worth trying. And then in the final scene, the woman is embracing Ian and said, Ian, darling, how nice and clean you look. And he says, you can thank Vacutex for that, honey. So it's very strange. But it's talking about oily skin, and they show somebody removing pimples on their face.
Yeah.
Despite the fact it's called dick pimple. There's this, this other part of it says, startle your buddies. Trying to find the, stop this share. Trying to find the one where I have here. Maybe this is it. So it says, featuring the amazing talents of Mo Saint Sever, which is Steve Morse, anagram of Steve Morse, on banjo, Udo Glassnoodle Jr., which is John Douglas Lord, on pianola, the Reverend Reg Gould, which is Roger Glover, Diana Spencer, and then it says, I. Oh, maybe that's why, because it's not an anagram for Ian Pace, because it's missing the A and the I, so very bizarre. And then it says Nigel Nail, the carpenter, who is Ian Gillan. And then, did I leave anybody out? I guess that's everybody. And then they also do it for Simon Robinson, who put together the album art for the Deep Purple Appreciation Society. So it's a cool little collectible. It says recorded in Orlando, June 21st, 1995. And it says mixed on a Kenwood Chef by the Rev Reg Gould.
Reg Gould.
Then it says fee 15 guineas for a 2.5 hour set. They should have put this on instead of Roadhouse Blues.
I know. Look at the bottom here.
Drunk,
copyright 1996 Dick Pimple. Yeah, so I mean, you got your standard blues going on here. Blues jam that a band will inevitably break out into.
Yep. But this is not lazy blues, this is energetic.
Yes, we have energetic blues.
Hard working blues.
Yeah, I like it.
And then they have this little ad in here for the home record maker. Think of it, I just made this record with the home record maker. Gee, Raj, it works great. It's so simple, let me make a record.
And then in the next frame, he's like, no, bitch. It's mine.
That just must have got cut off.
Now get back in the kitchen and cook me some vittles.
That would probably be more realistic to the 50s.
Well, except for the vittles part, unless they were down south.
That's true. Get out of here. I only have 3 more slices of my chocolate orange left from Christmas.
Oh, geez, the chocolate orange. I haven't thought about one of those in forever.
Oh, yeah, you got to get back on the game.
Yeah, well, I got a gift basket from my brother, all candies and confections from a place near my parents' house.
Oh, boy.
Said he had a lot of fun going in there and picking it out and making out a gift basket. And I'm like, this will not make it to the new year.
Nope.
I mean, it did. It was too much for me to eat. Otherwise, I would have been 300 pounds. Again, weaving in the 300 into our theme today.
That's the 300 club we want to try to avoid.
Yeah.
Well, at least we didn't make it by the episode 300.
I say, give or take, I'm probably the same weight that I was during episode 1.
I am certainly not.
Well, I mean, now you're also coming out of the holidays, so let's...
Well, okay. 6 months ago, I was certainly not. The only holiday then was the 4th of July.
And then it just all went downhill from there.
This is a fun, groovy jam. It's a little 10-minute CD for fun, for, you know, get drunk in the studio, record with some legendary musicians, send it out there, and have the fans buy it. Why not? You won't let them get a break. You gotta love that ending. Ah, great fun. How can you
Good
not
stuff.
enjoy that?
Good stuff.
All right, then we've got a much shorter track. This is also our friend Joe Sigler's favorite Deep Purple song. It is The Well-Dressed Guitar. And this one was something they started playing live. They've played live for the first time September 30th, 2000 in Belgium. And they recorded it for Bananas, and then it didn't go on the album. So it was just kind of left on the cutting room floor. And then I think they put it as a special bonus edition on the 2-disc or the tour edition of Rapture of the Deep. So here it is, The Well-Dressed Guitar. And we've heard this before, but it sounds like Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah.
Another one that's great fun. And I think we saw them do this live, or heard them do this live on a recent episode.
Yeah, there was. I just can't get over this album cover.
Yeah, I put up the Bananas album cover just because that's where the session it's from.
Well, the thing is that it's, most people, the album cover, but the only reason that I don't like it is because I remember we were looking at the back album cover with the guy on the bike with the big bunch of bananas. That should have been the album cover. That was actually a lot cooler.
Yes.
I thought.
All I remember about it is somebody got bent out of shape, either an email or something. I was like, I can't believe you guys didn't talk about the back album cover. And I was like, we did. What are you talking about? They're like, I can't believe you didn't, or we didn't mention that Bruce Payne took the photo or something. Maybe that was true. But I love that. I can't believe. It's like, really, you can't believe that we didn't say every single thing?
No, they couldn't believe it.
They were in complete disbelief.
They were speechless, without speech.
Believe it. You think you know somebody. I gotta say, this is a banger. There's no questioning it.
Yeah, good energy.
I have to respect Joe for the having the cojones to have his favorite Deep Purple song be a song that does not feature one of Deep Purple's many amazing singers.
True.
That takes some big brass ones. All right.
Indeed.
So don't listen to me. That's just the La Chouffe talking. La Chouffe, the little Belgian.
Oh. I thought maybe that was French for chocolate orange.
La Chouffe. No, that would be. I believe that would be orange or chocolate orange.
Orange.
Yeah, so that's a pretty easy one. I am even fluent in French when it comes to that. Or like orange de chocolat. Yeah, maybe that's a orange de chocolat.
I know how to say orange in French because of Blanche Devereaux.
Really?
Yeah, there was a early Golden Girls episode where she goes on a date with Dirk, the younger guy.
Oh.
And they go out to a French restaurant, and she goes,
"I'll have the orange." Yeah.
I'll have the duck orange. Yeah. And I heard it so many times that I'm just like, all right, I guess I know how to say that now.
She goes out on the date with him, and like he's like really young, and she's like, "Oh, this younger man asked me to go on a date, and I've still got it." And then he's like,
"You remind me of my
watercress salad or something."
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'll have the watercress." And then he says, "Yeah, I just love being around you. You remind me of my mom." And then she's like, "Oh, waiter, bring me the duck l'orange and like a bourbon or something."
No, he's like, "Yeah, you remind me of my mom." And then she's just like, and then she goes, "Waiter, bring back the orange duck." She drops like the whole formality. She's just like, "Waiter."
But she also like asks for like a double scotch or something like.
Yeah, but it's just like she completely turns it around, and she's just like, "I want the orange duck."
Okay, so now we move along to Things I Never Said. This is from the Japanese release of Rapture of the Deep. Japanese bonus track. Oops, I still have the wrong album cover up. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, tasty.
Oh. Tasty.
Let me just play along. I don't know if you can hear it.
I hear it. I think it's great.
I'm going to, it's gonna be a new thing. I'll just have that on me every episode. And I'll just boost it way up in the post-production. Oh, this reminds me of Sweet and Spicy from Equals One. What's that song? I can't, of course.
I forget. Oh, I mean, I can't.
Episodes, I haven't learned that I can't think of a song when there's another song playing.
Exactly. I'm like, I can't. I'm listening to this now. This is a good one.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite of the bonus tracks.
Yeah, it's from Old Fangled Thing. Maybe they repurposed part of this for Old Fangled Thing.
Oh, maybe.
Sweet and spicy. Pretty good solo section there.
Yeah, I mean, everything about this is very, like, I guess, like, old school Deep Purple sounding.
Yeah. I googled Deep Purple Sweet and Spicy to figure out what song that was from.
Well,
and it came up with a Reddit hot take. Rainbow is a better band than Deep Purple.
That is a hot take.
Yeah.
Seeing as though like most of Deep Purple was in Rainbow at one point, kind of a difficult argument to make there.
That's a fun rocker.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, sweet and spicy.
Spicy,
I would say.
Cajun beefy.
Cajun beefy. Then we have It'll Be Me from Now What. So here we go. It'll Be Me. Sounds like Elf. Oh, that's your favorite Ian vocal delivery. Ooh, he's going low.
Oh, that's his place in line voice. Ugh.
It's not quite that.
Well, not now.
Telegraph pole. So is this like, what's that Police song, Every Breath You Take? Sounds like a stalker sort of situation.
It's just like another blues-based song.
It's like if you hear somebody knocking on your door, if you see something crawling across the floor, it'll be me. I'm worried about this woman. Getting low.
Yeah. I don't like this. I didn't like this one as much.
You don't like that one?
It's just because it's just kind of one of your like blues standard type of things. You know, there's only so much you can listen to that.
They have one on almost every album, and usually I think they could probably mostly be cut.
I mean, you know that when you hear the song and when they before they go to the chorus, you hear da na na.
Yeah.
Bum 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 bum.
What's that song? Like, it'll be May. When I heard it, I was like, "It'll be May." What's that song? It's like a boy band. It'll be
NSYNC?
May.
NSYNC?
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May. That's what I just kept thinking about.
Well, it sounds like Ethel Merman. It doesn't sound like.
It's gotta be Val.
No, but that's bluesy.
Well, no, it'll be me. It's gonna be me. I just every time I saw it, I just kept thinking it's gonna be May. Is that's NSYNC?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, because the whole thing is like, you know, the meme with Justin Timberlake around May, and they say it's gonna be May, or they just show a picture of him and you say it in your head. It's gonna be May.
Because that's what it sounds like he says. It's gonna be May.
Yeah, but the way you do it, it sounds like the Merms.
Oh, yeah. Well, the way he does it sounds like the Merms, I think.
You're merming it up a little more than he does.
Yeah, maybe. I tend to do that. I have that problem. All right, so we just got a couple more. This one, next one up is called Paradise Bar, a non-album track from the most recent review last episode of Infinite.
What is this? It's a Deep Purple Christmas?
That's what it sounds like. This might be even more Christmassy than Nothing at All. Now it sounds like an 80s theme song.
Interesting. Like where this whole thing's going.
Got a fun groove to it.
Yeah. Like the keyboard tone in that like chorus part is not exactly like Uncommon Man, but it has like that kind of different tone where you're like, oh, that's one that you don't hear that often type of.
I kind of like it better in this context where it's not so like so fanfare-y.
Yeah, I like that. I like this.
Yeah, they could rework this into a Christmas song easily. Ooh, tasty.
Well, yeah, just the kind of like the chiming bell type of effect, you know. This part isn't as Christmassy.
No. This is standard Deep Purple grooving. It'd be great if Deep Purple came out with their final album and it was a Christmas album.
The Deep Purple Christmas album.
It would mostly be great because it would give us a really easy subject for next Christmas.
Featuring nothing at all.
Featuring nothing at all and Paradise Bar. Just replace those. Those are it's a tambourine. Just replace that with sleigh bells and you're all set.
Yeah, see?
Mommy, what are you getting me for Christmas?
This is
I had just opened a brand new tab when you said that, so I was like, what is this?
That was me doing my best little Cockney boy British accent.
Mommy, am I going to get something good for Chris? Sure, baby.
Sure, baby. I haven't thought about that one for a while. Well, yeah, there are parts of that song that sound really Christmassy. I'm saying.
It does, yeah. I think I hear Santa right now. Ho, ho, ho! You better get to sleep. We just have to do some overdubs on that. Not very many.
Yes,
okay.
I hear Gillen Claus. Yeah. Oh.
Gillen Claus. Okay, so the final one is from the same album outtakes. This one's called Simple Folk. I think this is just Steve. It's very short. Sounds like it could be a Christmas song too. I don't know if I just got that on my mind, but
What is that the melody to?
yeah, I was hearing it too.
Wait a minute. I lost it.
Well,
come on, I know this. Mr. Big. I'm the one and I will be with you.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's funny because I was just talking to Jen about that song the other day. Oddly. I don't know why.
Wow.
But yeah, but that was not what I was thinking of, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I knew I had it. I'm like, it's got to be. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, it definitely had that kind of like melody to it for sure.
Wow, good call. But yeah, those are some Steve Morse tracks that we did not cover because they were not proper tracks on the albums, other than bonus tracks. So
Yes.
That one was beautiful. But
Yeah,
I was
thought it sounded
thinking
good,
about
yeah.
that Mr. Big song, and I was like, that song's really good. Like it was so, like it played so much during the time, but it's like it's got a great melody and really well done.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of songs that are great and they just suffer from overexposure.
Yep. Try to gain up a little here, and let's get to it. Time for it's oh man. Hopefully I make that sound better in post.
300 episodes and Nate still busted out the makeshift sound effects.
I busted out the bass for the first time in 300 episodes. But I got this pick here. See this pick? That's like a 5-sided pick.
It looks like a Pope hat.
It's like what Richie uses. Yeah, I ordered it like 2 months ago, and it shipped just one pick in a little Ziploc bag. But it's the kind that Richie uses. So I don't usually play bass with a pick, but it's really thick. It's really heavy. It's made from I think traditionally they were made from ivory, but you can't do that anymore. It says this one's made from natural horn, which is probably just ivory.
Yeah, just they call it something different.
All right. So next up is our patrons before we close out the show. And of course, we always wrap it up with our core level patrons. So a few little changes there, but we'd like to thank our core level patrons coming to us at the £3.50 Deep Purple New York tier. We have none other than Lord Longford. At the £3 Aromatic Feed tier, we have Simon Ford and Richard Brees. At the the 293 pence tier, the wonderful
Blackmore tights.
I have to move these around to make this easier. At the $3.33 halfway to evil tier, we have Stephen Sharp and Duncan Leask.
Smoke on the water while you're in the sky.
At the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier, we have Peter Gardell. Ian DeRosier. Mark Roback. Stuart McCord. Ivan Fjeldbu. Runar Simonsen. Ruinous Inadequacies. Corey Morissette. Ashley. Weston Supermare Pilgrim. Joe Well-Dressed Dopefish Sigler. Then we have a
new patron.
Adam Cork and
new patron.
Tim Wood. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us at the $3 level. At the $1.71 I Want My Own tier, we have
Rich Yangui Shaylor. Who the hell is that?
At the 10 Cold Hard Danish Kroner tier, we have Karsten Lau.
Cold Hard Danish Kroner.
And at the $1 made-up name tier, we have the Cantankerous Catacombs, Leaky Mausoleum, Stephen Somerville, the Concerto 1999 Fanatic, Hank the Tank, Private Eyes, Ashen Lionel, Steve Down to Earth Kohler, Zwapper the Electric Alchemist, Anders Engstrom, ICDC, Durple Purple, David Haddam, Graham Bonnet's Disco Pants and Haircuts.
Graham, our audience expects you to be a bit more dirty.
Disco pants and haircuts, yeah.
I'm just going to put my guitar across his head.
And Eddie Lyon.
Homosexual.
Thank you so much to all of you for your support of the Deep Purple podcast.
We just got to remember here that Nate's a little out of practice.
Yep, a little.
Yeah, we're going into 300 and moving forward, just embracing imperfection.
Yes, if we don't embrace it, it's just going to drive us insane. I do have some of those jingles I have to just move around since people upgraded their tiers and came up with new tiers. So
I was going to say fuck things up, but that's a better way of putting it.
Giving us more money is a better thing. Hey, you guys are fucking things up. Don't donate more money.
Stay where you
donate
are.
Less.
Stay where you are.
Oh, exactly. Either stop donating or don't donate at all. Don't donate more. We're great businessmen.
Yeah.
So with that, as was kind of teased, we have, of course, postcards from the edge of Connecticut. So, John, what say you? I heard you had something.
Okay, so I got a couple of things here. Like, we're going back to last month here, but I got a nice Christmas greeting from the Gardeau and family.
Oh, I do too. It's upstairs. It's hanging with the others.
So I'm keeping that one here. And then separately, I got a note with this spiffy little keychain from the Gardeau with my name on it from south of the border.
South.
It says, John, great. Happy New Year, Pete. So we got that. And the only other patron-related Christmas card I got was from the Yangwi Shaylors.
Ah, yes. Yep. Beautiful.
So that's that's all I got for now.
I noticed a lot of Christmas cards came in like really late this year. I think it's probably a combination of the mail being busy and the fact that it was just after Thanksgiving weekend. You were like, oh shit, it's December 2nd. Like, I mean, it was so late this year.
Yeah, I mean that Christmas card from Rich, I actually got it today.
Are you serious? Oh my god!
Because I'm looking at it and I'm just like, okay, like Rich could have driven it over here faster.
Yeah. He's probably seen you 4 times since he mailed it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, it's hard. It was very late this year, and I know the postal service was crazy busy. We have some workers of the postal service in amongst our ranks of the patrons, so we appreciate all the work you do. It's incredible. Even as the price of stamps keeps going up, it's amazing what you can get for that price. I got a few cards here. Well, postcards. First of all, is this postcard Jazz Sabbath?
Ooh.
It's a good one,
nice.
Right?
Cool.
So if you don't know, that's Adam Wakeman's project where he basically has created this fictional universe whereby Black Sabbath was based upon old jazz records, and they make these Black Sabbath jazz records, which are really cool. But it is this one says the first time back on stage after more than 50 years, the 1985 fiasco doesn't count. And this one says a postcard from the edge of time. I wonder if there is a band out there that got ripped off by Deep Purple like Black Sabbath did. A friend in Texas, and that friend is none other than Joe Sigler. So, whoops. Thank you so much for sending that. Of course, he's in with the Black Sabbath crew. And it's got a non-canceled John Lennon stamp, so I can tear that off and use it again. Well, John Lennon Forever stamp. So, very cool. And I got this beautiful Christmas scene here.
Pretty.
And it says, this reproduction of Winter Morning is from an original Courier and Ives print. And it says, Nate and John, have a merry old Christmas. Wishing you 2 old sods a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year for ya, Pete. So thank you very much. Of course, using the appropriate postcard stamp as he always does. And then we have the Alamo. So it says, hey, Nate. Now here's something to remember. I was surprised to learn of the strong Alamo Phil Collins connection. Dio may have gone to heaven or hell. I went to Texas. The rowback. So that is a great one. And he does. They talk about it on the 70s Weekly podcast. He was at the Alamo, and I don't know if he was on a tour or just talking to somebody. and they were talking about how Phil Collins had donated all of this stuff to the Alamo Museum. And he thought, well, there's no way it's that Phil Collins, but it turns out it was. It's the Phil Collins. Probably was a huge Alamo fanatic and had amassed all of this Alamo memorabilia over the years, and recently just donated it all to the Alamo to put in the museum. So
wow, and the only thing that Ozzy ever did was pee on it.
Yeah, he's definitely got a few legs up on Ozzy. Okay. So I have a package here from what looks like the Gardeau. So now I think I have a pretty good idea what's in it.
It's probably what I just showed you.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because that's the same envelope that I got.
So it says, Nate, a very happy new year to both yourself and Doug. Peter. Oh, wait a second. There's a south of the border for Douglas. That's, for those of you that don't know, that's my brother-in-law who always complains that there's no Doug when he goes to those things. Where you and then of course I'm assuming this one, yes, this one says Nathan. South of
beautiful.
The border keychain.
Wow, still have never been, only passed by on the highway when I was a kid.
I wonder if he did anything more than just go in and run into the gift shop for that.
Knowing Gardeau, he probably would have just pulled over to run into the gift shop.
Picture himself going on the roller coaster with his hands up in the air and a sombrero on.
Oh, now that I would frame and put up on this wall.
Yeah, now my brother-in-law is going to be like, because every time I do find a Doug, I buy it for him, and be like, one of our listeners on the podcast bought this for you. It's like, now you have to stop.
Well,
that's
unique.
Great. Yeah, it's nice. It's like a little hologram. For those of you that
yeah, it's neat.
Does that come across on video? Not so much.
No, you have to do it up and down.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
There you go. See, I'm learning. Oops. Who needs the Dio hologram when you got this? All right. Well, thank you, Pete. That's very, very nice of you. America's. Oh wait. Oh, this must be a. I don't know what the paper is from. It was sent on New Year's Eve. He was whooping it up at the New Year's Eve party at south of the border.
Olay.
Well, thank you, Pete. Appreciate it. Speaking of jazz, I think we'll kick you off with some. We'll put in some jazz here to round off the episode when in post-production. Yeah, so there you go, folks. 300 freaking episodes. And over 50 good ones.
Wow.
Around
300. 300. Do you think we can make it another 300?
I was going to say, do you think you can make it to 301?
Well, I mean, we're going to make it to 301.
I like to set more realistic goals.
All right.
Well, this is essentially, we're almost at the 6-year mark. In April, it'll be 6 years since we started the show.
Yeah.
So that'll be essentially 12 years to make it 600 episodes.
Wow. Shit. Well, I mean, yeah. Or as Miguel would say.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think we'll make it how old will we? We'll be well into our 50s. John doesn't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk.
We'll be 35 in 6 years.
Yeah, well, but hey, well, we so what, 6 years, huh?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, when we started, it was never like, oh, will we get 10 episodes? Will we get 5? We just started doing it, and we never really thought about any of that. So it was just, while it's impressive to hit those milestones, it's not like, wow. It's just like, we'll just keep doing it. So it's not.
Well,
it just adds up.
I feel like, yeah, maybe it would be more. I mean, either way, I think impressive because, as you said, the numbers are stacked against podcasts. But I mean, I really think it's just sticking with it. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have this grand plan at the beginning that it was going to be anything. But I mean, hey, luckily we happen to. I guess we're entertaining enough where somebody wanted to listen, and then more, and you know, hey, that's it's all good. You know, and if I didn't mention before, right? You have the perfect game, right? The perfect bowling game is 300. We also have a perfect 300 track record. Never missed an episode.
That's true. Yep.
So ever since episode 1, where we were just standing here like shrugging and going, I don't know. I don't know what to say. We just kept doing it.
The only thing is, I don't know if they've all been strikes.
Yeah,
there've been some 7-10 splits. There've been some ones.
Yeah, some gutter balls.
Some gutter ball episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've kind of fell into a format. You know, we've tried some new things that didn't work out. We didn't really revisit them. We did some new things that were like, oh, this is a new thing to do. And, you know, just I guess the good thing about it is we've never really we've never been so formulaic or so stuck to any one particular idea that it's like we're roped in. And that's one of the great things about the show is you can almost never run out of content. But while we may have strayed a little too far from the Deep Purple family at times or done that, we've never said, oh, we can only do this or this. It's just like we're gonna do some new episode that's a totally different format. Like if we do a album rankings episode, we've got it down. We know almost to the minute. I can tell you how long the episode's gonna be. But then sometimes you try other formats and it's like, oh shoot, where it's like an hour in and we're done.
Right.
Or,
well, I mean,
shoot, it's going too long.
Well, I mean, that's how, excuse me, that's how you learn too. And, you know, I think that's a good for me, for us, that we've developed that kind of consistency too, because I think that's what keeps people coming back. I know my favorite podcasts, I like look for that consistency too. Like if there's a episode title that I see and I'm like, oh boy, I'm really going to like this topic. I basically know what the host banter is going to be like, how they structure the show, whatever. It's because, you know, a lot of people like structure, familiarity, and, you know, occasionally shaking it up, but not too much. Not too much shaking.
You know, and there's even some that are just like, they can't all be gems, especially if you're going every week for 6 years. So some of them are just, hey, the people count on us to have an episode out. We had an episode out. They will listen to it, and they're probably like, whatever. And, you know, it kept them entertained during their travel or whatever. Or maybe they just said, I'm kind of done with this episode and shut it off halfway through. Either way, but we do appreciate everyone who has listened for so long. You know, patrons that have been patrons for so long. Some of our first patrons are still there. People like the Gardeau and Clay Wambacher and Mark Roback. And not only that, but we've befriended them and hung out with them. And then they've started podcasts that we've been on. So it's, you know, we've talked about that a bunch, but it's been really great getting to meet so many people through the podcast. And I've long said it, but I recommend anybody, if you've got an old friend that you wish you talked to more, just say, hey, and there's something you have in common, just start talking to them about, even if you just do a Zoom call with them and don't record it. But you know what? Make it a podcast.
Yeah, right. Look how it worked out for us.
And if we didn't have a deadline to meet every week, would we actually talk every week, or would it be less frequent? Probably.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like, I almost forgot that we had a podcast for the past like 4 weeks, because we basically took the month off. And then I was like, today I was like, oh shit, we're recording. But when we sat down, it was just like, we did it last week. We're like, okay, let's go. So,
and honestly, it was kind of like that for our first episode, where we hadn't really talked much on the phone. We did like one call before that to just like make sure things worked. And then we like talked, and it was just like, we probably hadn't talked much in the previous decade.
Yeah.
But yet we just started talking like it was 30 years prior, and like nothing had ever changed. So,
well, that's what great friendship's all about.
Absolutely. Yeah. Starting a podcast together. Well, anything else to close out episode 300, the 300 Club?
The 300 Club. This with Pat Robertson. When you said that yesterday, I'm like, oh Jesus, I haven't thought of that shit in a while.
I was thought it was isn't that the show with
that guy? Oh.
You see his face and you're like, time to change the channel. No offense to Pat Robertson fans out
there. Closing thoughts. I think I echo your sentiments. I'm grateful for all the podcast has brought us, friends, good times, laughs,
riches beyond your wildest dreams.
Like literally riches and riches.
Riches. A rich beyond our wildest dreams.
or nightmares. We don't know. Sometimes he gets a little ornery with us, but maybe we deserve it. But no, I'm grateful for the friends that we've met and got to hang out with, experiences we've had, the fun conversations we've had, and just on a basic level, it's just great sometimes to just be excited about an album or a topic and getting on. And like, if you're like, hey, we're going to be talking about this album or this topic tonight, or we're going to be having this guest on, this friend, one of our friends, to discuss this topic, or do a live stream or something. If it's something that I'm really excited about, it's one of those things like all day, like, oh boy, I can't wait, because it's, it's just like going out after work or something, and, grabbing a drink and hanging out with your friends and just, talking about this stuff. So it's, always gives me something to look forward to, keeps the brain sharp ish, Gave me a chance to work on my Dracula impression.
Yeah. Oh shoot. I thought we were done with sound clips. There we go. I'll edit that in earlier so it looks like on top of it. No, I won't. But yeah, I, even though there's even times when it's like we're so busy with work or whatever else is going on, you're just like, I don't even feel like doing a podcast tonight. But there's never been a time where afterwards I didn't feel better. You know what I mean? There's never.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
There's been plenty of times where I've been like, we have to record tonight, and the situation just isn't ideal with whatever's going on at work or home or family or kids or you name it. But then afterwards, I'm always like, feel great. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah. It's just like I would say like my last observation to go along with that is like it sounds a lot like a sentiment that somebody. If you're into like, I'm gonna get like lambasted by like some people for that. If you're into like fitness, right? Right. It's just like, you don't always want to show up for the workout. You might be tired or whatever. You're not feeling 100%, but like nobody's ever finished a workout and just said like, wow, I don't feel like at least a little bit better than I got it in. I mean, you might feel like crap. You might be sweating, breathing hard or whatever, but it's good for you,
Yeah, so, it gets your endorphins going.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I've heard.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. You and some other people I know might be like, yeah, maybe you, but not me. But but yeah, it's just one of these. These are one of these kind of, I guess you could say like simple pleasures in life. It's just great to get together and do this every week, and we'll just keep doing it. I love doing it.
Yep, we'll keep doing it until people aren't buying what we're selling anymore. So
right. So maybe sell some more of those beanies. Let's start there.
Buy my product.
Let's start there. Sell the toques.
Yes, sell those toques. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for listening to. There is a good, not insignificant number of you that have listened to all 300 episodes. God love you. And for whether you've listened to 300 or 1, we appreciate any time that you've given us, and we look forward to doing 300 more. When me and John are in our early 30s and we're still doing this. All right.
Oh boy. Happy 300.
Happy 300, and I'll talk to you next week.
All right.
If you like the Deep Purple podcast and would like to support the show, please consider joining our Patreon or donating on PayPal. Patrons get full access to the podcast, Discord server, ratings, spreadsheets, and live stream invites. You can also leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow the show on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, or Threads. You can also check out the website at deeppurplepodcast.com for show notes and more. Contact us via email at johnornate@deeppurplepodcast.com. Thanks for listening. If you like the Deep Purple podcast and would like to support the show, please consider joining our Patreon or donating on PayPal. Patrons get full access to the podcast, Discord server, ratings, spreadsheets, and live stream invites. You can also leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow the show on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, or Threads. You can also check out the website at deeppurplepodcast.com for show notes and more. Contact us via email at johnornate@deeppurplepodcast.com. Thanks for listening. If you like the Deep Purple podcast and would like to support the show, please consider joining our Patreon or donating on PayPal. Patrons get full access to the podcast, Discord server, ratings, spreadsheets, and live stream invites. You can also leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow the show on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, or Threads. You can also check out the website at deeppurplepodcast.com for show notes and more. Contact us via email at johnornate@deeppurplepodcast.com. Thanks for listening.